how you doing, Laser Brain?
Doing pretty good. Isn't it nice having the camera up to the sky?
Well, I wanted everybody to see those great posters. So,
It is pretty great.
what are we doing?
We are going to be talking about another movie we watched. We Did you even tell people about the game we're playing and everything?
Uh-oh.
Well, we put 215 new Laserdiscs on a list. And whenever we feel like watching a movie, you click the number generator and it picks a number out of the random list and we watch whatever movie it is. So the first one was Strange Encounters of a Third Kind, and we ended up landing on U.S. Marshals as our next one, which is what we're going to be talking about.
Well, but there's also some secret things that happened.
You want to talk about the veto system?
Each person gets a veto,
Mm-hmm.
and we tried. I can't remember what got vetoed, but you guys love your vetoes.
Yeah. Well, because sometimes we're not in the mood for maybe something that sounds a little strange, not mainstream, as Katie put it.
Well, I mean that's the game, right?
Well, but sometimes you're in the mood to try something new, and sometimes you want to try something that a bunch of people said is good and you want to see.
Speaking of which,
Mm-hmm.
there've been a couple of false start duds. What
Mm-hmm.
was that one that was a black and white from the 30s?
I couldn't tell you the name of it. If I had the list, I
Something
could.
about Lost Horizon
I think it was
or
Lost Horizon. You might be right.
Ooh, we all agreed in about 10 or 15 minutes is the worst thing we ever saw.
Yeah, because you couldn't. I mean, we had the volume fixed by that point, right? Or no?
Yeah.
Okay, we could not hear anybody. We couldn't understand what they were saying, and it was black and white, so it's already a little,
And a few people were talking like this.
yeah, slow rolling. And you couldn't really figure out what was
Yeah.
going on.
They make a big deal today about girl bosses, but that was definitely a girl boss.
Was it?
Yeah, she got on the plane. She was all sassy.
Yeah, but they always had the femme fatale. I think that's what the trope's called.
Well, femme fatale, I think, usually means doing something bad, right?
Kind of,
I think fatale is fatal.
maybe.
This chick was just had a big mouth.
Well, she had the personality of a femme fatale.
Okay, I'll give you that. Anyway, so that one got tossed. I'm not even sure if anybody vetoed that or we all
I
just
think,
agreed as garbage.
yeah, I think if we all agree it's garbage, then it goes away.
Well, not exactly because
Yeah, on
this
that one.
movie,
We were going to give it 15 minutes and we couldn't even do that. Isn't that correct?
yeah, it's called The Cook, the Thief, the Wife, and Her Lover.
Mm-hmm.
And it said it's very controversial.
The most controversial film of the decade. It's self-proclaimed.
This was so bad, I couldn't tell you what was going on.
Yeah,
I
well, I
couldn't
could
see.
tell you what's going on. I just couldn't tell you why. Because once again, I couldn't understand people. And it's not that they were speaking a different language; they were speaking English. It's just you couldn't understand anybody.
Right, but it was real thick, heavy English accents. Everybody was English in the movie.
Yeah, which I can normally understand, but that one I was like struggling to pay attention.
And the other thing is, like all it was, look, you were clearly on a set. They were out
Mhm.
on the street, but it was clearly a set. Some
Mhm.
windows that were supposed to be facades or something, but they were all like half built.
Mhm.
I, I was just like, get it off. And I think I
Yeah.
used my veto on that
You used
in the
your
middle of
veto.
it. That's never been done.
Because we were originally gonna give it 15 minutes, and then it would be one of those things where we all decided and we get rid of it. But you were just like, turn it
I
off,
couldn't
turn
understand
it
what was going
off.
on. I didn't.
What's that
Life
one?
is short.
What's that one movie where they put the clasp on the guy's eyes? They have him like watching the stuff, and he starts yelling, "Turn it off." I heard it's a classic. I've heard people reference it a few times.
You're talking about when the guy can see people through the glasses?
No, they're not glasses. They're little like they're eye clamps, and
Oh yeah, yeah,
and he's
yeah,
not
yeah.
allowed
I
to
know what you're
blink.
talking. You're
He's like
talking
doing that.
about the guy watching film to be indoctrinated or brainwashed,
Yeah,
and that's a Clockwork Orange.
that's what it felt like watching that movie.
But you didn't even have the eye things.
Well, I mean, it felt like I did. I couldn't take my eyes away.
Well, so that's what happened. But U.S. Marshals somehow, I think you guys didn't have any vetoes left
Yeah, we were
because you were vetoing everything.
because we weren't in the mood for something like there was a dolphin movie that popped up, and it's like you need to be in a specific mood to watch a dolphin movie,
Oh, I say that every day of my life.
Yeah, I think there's just a certain mood. So we have already, well, to clarify the veto rule, everybody gets a veto. Once everybody uses their veto, the veto's reset. But the movie does not get taken off the list, it's simply moved to another time. So, except for stuff where we're like, mm-mm, never again.
Right, like the black and white film where we tried it, we know
Yeah,
that doesn't need to go back.
yeah, exactly.
This
Same with
Cook
that
Thief
movie.
one, that needs to be put through a paper shredder or something.
Exactly. Actually, we're trying to sell it.
I think we're too dumb. Yeah, does somebody want to buy this?
Yeah, there you go. This is actually
Look
a
at
really
this chick
great
on the
movie.
back. I mean, this is definitely if you're a pervert or you have a pervert in the family.
Pervert or artsy pervert.
And this thing is in minty condition. Look at that.
It is beautiful. It was in
Ooh.
plastic wrap, by the way.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
Oh, so it can go back in
Pretty
a
fresh.
plastic thing.
Yep.
Write in the comments. You got to have that.
Yep. We have all the takers right now.
Okay.
Everybody's into
Just
it.
tell them to get in line.
The artsy perverts. I got them in a waiting room, and we're gonna start making bids.
I bet you do.
Mm-hmm.
So here is U.S. Marshals. So this one somehow escaped the veto because you two, I was sure, there's a guy on the front with a gun.
Well, number one, we were out of vetoes by that point. Katie and I both used our vetoes, and you were like, "Oh, let's watch it." We were kind of about it because we don't like gun movies.
Right.
But I mean, it wasn't horrible.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna give it my.
Shouldn't you save that till the end? And now everybody's clicking off.
I always start off with my honest review. I don't think it was horrible. I think he could have used a trim. I think that's exactly what I said when the movie was over. We could have taken away a couple climax scenes.
You know, I'll agree with you. There was a part in that movie where it was clearly the end,
Mm-hmm.
and then you got another half hour.
Yep. Yep.
Of
You had to flip the disc again.
some other kind of ending, and that was too much.
Was this a 3 or a 4? This was only 3, but it felt like it went on for.
Well,
about
it's because
20
it was
years.
over, and then they
Did another
30
one.
minutes.
Yep.
So I don't know if you know this or not, but this is a spin-off sequel to another movie.
Fugitive.
That's right.
Well, you told us that.
Oh, okay. Well, pretend I didn't, and then act surprised.
I had never seen The Fugitive. You said it was like Emmy nominated?
Emmys for TV.
What was it? You said it got some kind of award.
I'm not sure, but Tommy Lee Jones must have got an award for either The Fugitive. I doubt he got one for this one. I don't think this one did as well, but he got his own movie with this character from The Fugitive because people were so excited.
Mm-hmm.
And that might be
what happened.
listen, there was no way I was going to look it up.
Okay.
I'm just thinking there was a lot of excitement, so he got his own movie.
Yep.
So
Yep.
instead, you just follow this guy around. What? Tell me about what you liked about the movie, because you were ready to hate it.
Well, yeah, it won me over a little bit, I would say. I to be fair, I started off pretty sour, and a lot of times if you start off in a movie sour, it'll at least do slightly better than you think, unless it's the cook, the thief, the wife, and her lover.
I was optimistic about that one.
I was not. I gotta be honest. I was reading the back of it because I always read the back of it because that's
a mistake.
As somebody who gets to, I hit my mic. As somebody who gets to get up on a ladder and look from A to Z of Laserdisc, I think it's my right. I get to look at the description on the back.
You can, but I've said it before. I like to go into a movie as cold as possible.
I don't.
like
I like
to watch
to
the
at least
trailers.
know a kind of vibe of what we're going for.
Okay, so what's the story with this movie?
So, I mean, there's this guy. I start off all my description with there's this guy. And he is a U.S. Marshal, and he's obviously the character from The Fugitive, you said.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, you start off the movie with, there's like a bust happening. Like, he's undercover. Is he the one in the chicken outfit, or is there somebody else in the chicken outfit? He's in the chicken outfit as, like, undercover. There's some kind of, like, bust that happens where they're trying to get the guy.
I like your cop talk. That's good. Bust.
Bust. Yeah. Well, that's what it was. It was a bust. And I don't know, what did the guy do? Do we ever find that out?
Mm-mm. Well, I wasn't paying attention.
I just heard
it's hard to do anything except watch the chicken costume.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So they got the guy, and the guy like punched one of his guys, and he got all mad, so he like punched him back. He got a little rough with him. Then he got scolded for that, even though I think that was perfectly acceptable. He bit one of his guys,
That's true.
so and that could be serious stuff.
Okay, and then at some point we get into the Wesley Snipes character.
Yep, go ahead.
Well, he gets into a little bit of trouble, and you think maybe he's a bad guy because he's got this girlfriend. She doesn't know anything about it, and all of a sudden, this guy's got some problems.
Mhm.
He gets involved in some kind of accident,
Mhm.
and that's when he needs to go to the hospital because he's in this accident, and that's when they find out, hey, wait a minute, this dude is accused of killing 2 federal agents in
True.
New York. He's not going anywhere.
Mhm.
And that's where he makes his escape, and that's how it's like The Fugitive.
Mhm.
You got the U.S.
You're
Marshal
chasing
team,
a fugitive, you know.
and they chase this guy.
Mhm. He's like doing all this stuff. He's doing things like getting in the back of cars and like having guns drivers, but he never kills anybody.
Well, because he's a good guy, right?
Yeah, that's the thing they start to notice. They're like, why this guy who killed a bunch of your workers, why is he not killing anybody?
Right.
He's just like being aggressive, pointing guns at people.
Because when you're watching a movie, it's very difficult to root for a guy who is killing innocent people.
But you start to suspect at that point that he's not as bad as you thought.
And where this is different than The Fugitive was a doctor who was running.
Yeah.
So he had his brain, but no special skills. This guy's got all kinds of.
Yeah, he's got all the skills. Do you want
I'm
to
not
get
gonna
into?
say secret agent, but he certainly has a lot of training.
Yeah. Do you want to get into why?
Okay.
I'm asking you. I'm
Oh
asking you to
well,
talk about it.
they're chasing him because he killed 2 federal agents.
That's what they think.
Well, that's according to the information that when they ran his background, he's got warrants.
Mhm.
And then they drop in, so they're going to go chase this guy. They drop in Robert Downey Jr.
Mhm.
And he says, those guys who got killed, those were friends of mine. So he's now super motivated.
Yeah, he's like, oh, we got a trooper on our team who is like personal stake in the game.
Right. And so they all team up and they all follow this guy and they chase him throughout the movie.
Mhm.
But then, what do we find out?
We find out that, I mean, he didn't do it.
He's not a bad guy.
He was on the phone with a girl, but she's like, did you really do it? And he's like, no, it was a setup. Somebody else did it and tried to blame him, basically.
Right. And at what point did you figure out who the real bad guy was?
I did it pretty early, and you were kind of fighting me on it too.
Well, I'd seen the movie. I knew. The second I
Oh,
saw him,
okay.
I knew.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember this.
Well, I didn't know. I'd never seen this movie before, and I guessed that Robert Downey Jr. was gonna be our guy.
And he was.
I'm trying to think like what part of the movie I said that.
Well, he acted sketch every time you saw him.
Yeah. I'm like, well, because the moment I realized that it was a setup, I think I said, oh, it's him. The guy who's, I mean, he's acting like, oh, I lost my buddy. He's like, I gotta get this guy.
So
Yeah.
sadly, what that means is that's bad writing. You shouldn't have been able
Yeah.
to guess that quick. And you knew when you said it. I was like, that was pretty quick.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've seen a couple movies in my lifetime.
That just means
In
they
my
weren't
life.
doing a good job,
Yeah. I
in my
mean,
opinion.
to be fair, I'm a little bit more. What is it? Media literacy. I got a little.
You're a little bit country. I'm a
Mhm.
little more rock and roll.
I've got the brains. You got the looks. You know.
Okay,
Okay.
I'll take that.
I'll take the brains. I'd rather be smart.
Okay, go. Why don't you go polish your brain?
Yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
will.
comb my good looks.
I'm gonna go work for NASA. You know,
Mm.
isn't that nice?
What are you gonna do there?
Space.
You know what? I think they would take you sight unseen with that
Yeah.
kind of comment you just made
I
there.
think so. I got the brain.
So we're not gonna tell you the ending or what happens, but
You're not. We didn't.
nah,
With the other movie.
no, I don't want to.
Okay.
I mean, people presumably are gonna watch this. U.S. Marshals, listen, if you like guns and you like chasing, this has everything. It's tons of action. I like gun movies.
I don't.
So I'm not going to say it's fantastic or the best one I've had, But I was thoroughly entertained up until the second ending, and then I was getting a little squirmy.
Well, yeah, like when you start getting over there, I kind of didn't know what was going on. Stuff started happening, and you're like, "This is still going on,"
Hmm.
you know? Like,
Well, that's what the problem with having two endings.
because did you say it was 30 minutes on each side of the disc?
Hmm.
Yeah, it felt like way longer. It felt like a 2 hour movie. Was it a 2 hour movie?
I don't
Let
know.
me see. I'm gonna
I mean,
investigate. You talk.
it doesn't. It doesn't matter how long the movie is if you're engaged in the movie.
131 minutes.
Let me see. Yeah, that's
Well,
over.
well, 60 plus 60 is 120, so it's got to
So,
be over 2 hours.
yeah,
Yeah, that was.
mistake. 30 minutes should have been trimmed off of that.
I think it should have been an hour 40. That's what I think. I think we could have trimmed enough to get there. I think it
Okay.
could have happened. We
Maybe
could
we
have kept
could
it
do that in our
punchy.
spare time.
There you go. I don't got time for that. My schedule's so busy.
Okay.
Hmm.
So, gun movies, I'm going to say it's good
Okay.
because Tommy Lee Jones knows that character. His little band of buddies that he moves around with, though, are pretty cheesy.
Well, you're trying to keep it light occasionally. You're supposed to be like, hey, this guy.
It doesn't
you know?
really hold up. I think this
Yeah.
is a 90s movie, and I want to say mid to late 90s.
Mm-hmm.
While it's fun, it's that group of guys with the wisecracks and whatever.
Yeah.
It's lame. And then there's some. I don't remember. There's some chick who's in charge,
Mm-hmm.
and she's like acting like they might have had a relationship before. She's the when the guy goes in and he's been doing the wrong thing. This when the boss goes in and chews your ass.
Yeah.
She's the chewer
Well,
asser.
didn't she say like as a friend?
Yeah.
Didn't she say that at some point?
But it was I'm gonna fire your ass.
Yeah, exactly. It was like a tough love situation.
So any one of these kind of movies like that, like a Lethal Weapon or whatever, there's always an ass chewing scene.
Yep.
So you get that here.
Yeah. I give it an okay. I'll give it like one of these.
Which is pretty good for you for a gun movie.
Yeah, I think so.
And the problem is I like gun movies and I'd give it a. It's slightly above a C.
So maybe like a.
Well, you got Tommy Lee Jones and you have Robert Downey Jr. and you have Wesley Snipes.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean a lot to me. I
Well-
like good story. I don't care who's in it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, but if you get actors who do a good job and try hard,
Yeah, that's true.
and you got three world class here.
I got a question. Did you see? I don't think it was on our Laserdisc pile. Was Die Hard on there?
Die Hard is not there. None of those are on there.
That makes me kind of sad.
No, I'll figure out a way to get you to see that.
Well, I've seen that movie.
Oh, really? Have you
Yeah.
seen number 2?
I think we saw number 2.
Did
yeah.
you see 3?
I don't think we saw 3.
Did you see 4?
No.
Did you see 5?
Is there even a 5?
Yes.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's a little much.
It really was.
Mm-hmm.
That was the one for me that didn't work very well. I've only seen it once.
I think enjoy maybe like 1 or 2 and call it a day, you know? I think
Would you
that's
like
what
to hear
I
my
did.
story about Die Hard 5 when I went to go see it?
Sure.
I bought a disc or something, and there was a free movie ticket to go see Die Hard 5
Mm-hmm.
if you bought this disc.
Mm-hmm.
So I did, and then I went, and they said, "Hey, would you like to watch this movie at the D box? You got to pay extra,
I
but
bet you
could
did
be
want to
in the
go
D
see
box."
it at the D
I did, because you
box.
know why? When you're sitting in your chair goes like this.
Oh, I know what that is. They're doing that with Twister right now.
Oh, really?
Have you seen that? People are saying it's a good movie.
That is astonishing to me because the first one wasn't good.
Maybe they made it better. Sometimes they make old movies better.
Right.
Sometimes, hey, go see it. You know?
I have a feeling I'll never know.
It looked like the fun chairs look fun. I'm gonna say it.
Yeah, I don't even know if we have a D-Box theater here. I wouldn't know
Yeah,
where
you're
it
right. I
was.
guess I don't know if we do. I think they call it something else now, though.
Double D-Box.
Sure. Okay, go ahead. Finish your story.
D-Bag box.
Finish your story, D-bag.
So that's what I did. That's the story. I went and saw
That's
it in
it?
D-Box.
Oh, okay.
And even in the D-Box, that movie was a bit of a stiff.
Okay, great.
And
When
we
did
don't
it
know.
move? Do you remember?
Pardon?
When did it move?
Anytime like something crashes, like if a truck
Oh.
crashes, it goes like that.
Okay.
The best D-Box movie I ever saw was a movie called The Gray.
Okay.
And that was with Liam Neeson.
Oh, I'm not into that.
But it wasn't his typical gun shooter movie.
Okay.
He gets stuck out in the snow and he gets chased by wolves.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a plane crash scene, and when they're doing the plane crash scene, the chair's
You
like,
start going. Woo, woo, woo.
and you really feel it. I was like, yeah, this is worth the extra couple of
Okay.
dollars.
Look at you.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
That's a good movie too. It's too bad I haven't seen that in a while. I have it up there somewhere.
Nah.
You say that, but you wouldn't have watched this.
Well, I would have been fine not seeing this.
But you saw it.
It's a movie.
Were you entertained, or did you want to stare at the wall?
Eventually, I wanted to stare at the wall. You know, like near the end, I started. Like I said,
That's
I
fair.
couldn't tell you what was going on. I started like kind of spacing out.
Well, you know, there's a fast forward button, right? You could just.
Well, you were in charge of the buttons, so.
I think I had fallen asleep.
Did you really?
No.
Okay.
So I guess that's all I have to say about U.S. Marshals.
Yeah. I give it an okay.
If you like The Fugitive a lot, you will like this a little.
Okay. And I've never seen The Fugitive.
If you haven't seen it and you got those three guys in it,
I think
you
we
will
have
be
The Fugitive
entertained.
on the wall.
Yeah, well, definitely.
Yeah. Well, not on. I meant your laser discs.
Oh,
You might have.
oh, really?
You might have The Fugitive up there.
Exciting.
I vaguely.
I feel like we
remember.
should go spin the wheel right now and see if we land on it.
I
Tell you what, if we land on The Fugitive when we spin the wheel, I'll give you $20, and if we don't, you give me 10.
No.
That means you get double the money.
No. There is such a slim chance.
Well, that's how I like to bet.
I mean, there's 215 movies and we've crossed out a few.
Mm-hmm.
But that's still, let's say 200 movies.
In my opinion, for you, it's easy money. You should do it.
And I don't even recall it was really on the list. So that would be a horrible bet for me to take.
I feel like you're going to win. I think you should try.
I don't.
Okay.
I don't.
All right.
I like keeping my money. Yep.
Okay.
You
Tell
know
that to your landlord.
let's I'll make a bet with you.
Okay.
Can I make the terms?
Well, I'll listen to it. I won't agree to it if I don't like it.
Okay. So I think I should get $20 if I guess the next movie we're gonna watch, and you should get 10. I think we're gonna watch Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
All right. I'll tell you what. I'll parse that bet.
Mm-hmm.
We'll spin the wheel and we'll say, because the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, I think, is really long. I think it's actually like 2 movies. It was like a mini series, I think.
Yep. Another mini.
So you spin the wheel and we'll see. If it lands on we watch the second half, I win. And if it lands on we watch the first half, you get the money. What do you say?
Nah.
You don't want to?
Shouldn't we spin it and see if we even get Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy? I've always wanted to see that. I've never seen it. I listened to some of the audiobook, and that's about it. Speaking of, do you want to talk about V? Because we finished it since the last time we spoke about it, or do you want to save that
That was
for...
part of that other show.
We can do it for the other show. It's just I thought about it as we were
We
talking.
can always put it. How long have we been going on? Because sometimes these need to be shorter.
I couldn't tell you. It's up there, and I can't read it. I think it's like 30-something.
Are you kidding already?
Let me see.
See, we talk too much.
Oh, no, it's 23.
23. So...
we can save it.
Yeah, I mean, we would put the disc right here and do it that way, I think.
There you go.
If we're going to discuss it.
Well, because
Everybody in the room, if you start giving thumbs up right now, we'll talk about V.
You can't give thumbs up. You can give emojis.
Yeah, give me some emojis, even if it's the doo-doo one.
Okay, let me see. Oh dear. I guess I've never seen their... YouTube has special emojis, so I was gonna pull up the poop one just to make you smile, but I don't think they have one.
Okay.
There's a little guy dabbing. I'll do that one.
Give me the one where the lady in charge is censoring everybody's videos if they don't like what you say.
Well, I don't think I have that button either.
If you don't say the right thing or you don't like the right politician, then they censor you.
Here, let me do...
I want that emoji on there.
Let me do... I did a hand, if that helps.
Okay.
Okay.
So I think that's it. I think it's time to end the live stream.
Alright, I'm gonna get up and do it then.
All right.
You ready?
Yep.
Okay.
That's it for U.S.
Bye,
Marshals.
laser brains.
And just because the live stream is over, you can still watch it and you can still ask questions and we'll answer them. If you have your 2 cents to put in, we might spotlight you by answering your question and drawing a picture of you, and we'll show it in the next video. You'll draw it, right?
What? I was focusing on other things.
Say Gary writes in and says, "Hey, U.S. Marshals, great job, whatever shot, right?" He sends us his picture. You get out your sketchbook, you draw Gary, and then on the next one we just show Gary.
What do you think my skill is?
That is the charm of it.
I'll do a little stick figure.
Just because Gary will look like Peter, who cares?
Yeah, there you go. All
Probably
right.
more like a dolphin, and then we'll show it on the dolphin movie if we ever
Okay.
watch that.
We will eventually.
Okay.
It's just we didn't feel like watching it that night.
I like your optimism.
Thank you.
You know, you could walk out of the house and get hit by a bus. You'd never see that dolphin movie.
I'd be
Do
fine
you
with
think
that.
you're going to see? Well, okay.
Based on what I heard about the dolphin movie, I think I'll be fine with it. Are you
Sounds
ready now? You
Sounds like I should
you're
rent a bus.
You're the one who keeps yapping.
Okay. Here, I'm turning off my microphone.
All right.